What is it on the is so you two differ on the Israel issue.
Completely. Like we couldn't be more far apart if we tried.
What is her stance?
Oh, she is Zionist to the core. She is a Zionist to the core. Whether or not it's ideological or APAC induced, I don't know. And to be honest, I really don't care why. But I can probably surmise that she and I were raised pretty similarly on that. We're both Ashkenazi Jews raised in the United States, and we were raised, and in general, in this country, to be very anti-Arab. We are raised to think that Arabs are lesser, less civilized, dirty, and want to kill us. That is brainwashed into us from a very young age, and it's absurd. And it's taken me the better part of 10 years to deprogram myself. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so now I feel like this might be the hill that I die on. I have a lot of regret. I was used as a tool in ethnic cleansing when I was in Israel. I was there as a teenager. They take groups over there all the time on mass propaganda tours. I was there on a program called Alexander Muss High School in Israel. And we lived there in dorms for 6 weeks. And you study and go visit the places. And all the while is constant Zionist brainwashing and propagandizing. And I've realized that where they were taking us was to places that we weren't supposed to be. And we, of course, thought it was so cool because you're traveling with an armed guard and he's got this big machine gun and we're in high school and oh, how cool, we have our own armed guard. But you really have to wonder who uses human shields when you're sending teenagers somewhere where you think they need an assault rifle to protect them. So clearly we were places we weren't supposed to be. And I also know that they have us planting trees in parts of East Jerusalem. Well, now it might not be that, but that was where we were planting. And now I know what I was doing. And at the time I had no idea what I was doing. So I have a lot of like a personal atonement in my part in ethnic cleansing, but that's why this will be the hill that I now have to die on. And this woman sits there and has our entire Congress sign a resolution that says that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, and stood on the steps of our Capitol and actually said that if somebody doesn't support that, they have no soul. Now, personally, I believe that if anybody is an expert on the soul list, it is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So, kudos to her on knowing that. But the scariest part, Kim, is that other than a handful of people, they all signed that. So in other words, if I walk into Congress with enough money and say 2 + 2 is 5, they'll sign that too. And that has put me over the edge. I will spend every breath I have telling people that Zionism and Judaism are completely different things. In fact, Zionism is anti-Semitic, and as a program has been using the Jews forever.